This is Johnny Wrestling, Johnny Gargano, and you are listening to the Bob Culture Podcast.
Nothing between the lines of the page or at a time. Forgiveness is for angels, but this angel fell out of line. Left in no second chance or redemption can be found. 'Cause you can't hold the devil and the devil is running you down.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, back here, and we're live at Titan Championship Wrestling with wrestler, musician, legend, trainer. It is an honor to be sitting down with Finneus James. Welcome in, man. How are you, bro?
I'm good, man. Honor. I don't know about an honor, but thank you.
No, I've been waiting to do this, man. Trying to get away from the Zoom stuff and all that, and just want to sit down with you. We always see you here at Titan training everybody, helping the kids, doing a lot. You've trained so many people, and you've seen so many people succeed in this business, man. I've talked to you about it a few times. What's that like for you, man?
You know what? Honestly, it's something that I think is been my calling, even more so than actually just wrestling. Really? I feel like I was kind of groomed as a trainer.
Huh.
I started training people in 2008, and then 2010. I ran a school with Nunzio and Richie Rotten.
Nice.
Yeah, so that was like my start there. And at the same time, as a wrestler, I was training at Ring of Honor at that time. So
the dojo.
With Delirious, and so I was not just learning a lot, but also learning how to train people too, which was something that I just immediately became something passionate for me, that I really, really enjoyed. You can't put into words what it's like to see somebody that you helped along the way succeed.
Yeah.
It's like watching your children succeed. It's not one of those things as a trainer, you have to dial it back a little. You don't want to take credit for somebody's accomplishments.
Well, you were certainly part of the journey.
Yeah, part of the journey. I always like to think of it as I was just the map to help you get there.
I like that. Yeah.
That's the way.
Which is very important.
I love each and every one of my students, every person that's ever trained with me. I try to keep in touch with pretty much all of them, to be honest.
Yeah.
Anytime that I have a free moment, I'm calling people, seeing how they're doing, regardless if I'm, still in their environment or not.
Yeah.
Really successful. Right now I have, I have a student at NXT. I have 2 at AEW. I have 6 students in the top 500 right now.
Yeah.
I'm pretty blessed. That's pretty lucky, right?
That's amazing, man. And like you said earlier, it's so cool to see people succeed. I started doing this podcast. I've been playing in bands since I was 16. We'll talk about music stuff in a little bit.
Cool.
But in the music business, I haven't seen so many people, and no disrespect, get signed or get to that next level. And in this business, for someone who's not trying to make it, I just like being around y'all and learning. You guys were all here for me during a tough time. I just seeing my friends and people you've trained make it. It's cool. It happens fairly often. It's very cool to see. The music business I know is very different.
Yeah. Yeah.
What's the difference? What's that like for you, for someone who has had some success in the music business, man? We'll talk about that too.
To be honest, both industries are cutthroat.
Yeah.
Both. But they're cutthroat in different ways. The wrestling industry is based around respect.
Yeah.
There's definitely not that in the music industry, for sure.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong, you respect people and that kind of thing, but there's a lot more.
I get it though.
Yeah, cutting corners and but it, just like everything else, man. I think with wrestling, you can succeed if you're driven enough.
Yeah.
Whereas with music, that's not always the case. Like, I've seen people that were driven and great that never got anywhere.
Yeah.
You know, and,
100%.
You know, so, and I'm sure that that's the case with wrestling too. But I've seen it a lot less in wrestling than I've seen it in music, for sure.
Yeah, I like to watch Shark Tank, and I think they had a couple bands come in here and there, and Mark Cuban even said, hey, like the music business, one of the hardest business to make it in, work
Absolutely.
with. He wanted nothing to do with it, and I get it. But for wrestling, it's so cool to see everyone succeed, man. And I know you trained a lot of people. Did you train Gacy? Did we talk about that?
No, I did not.
You were just
friends with Joe.
him,
Yep.
and he's been killing it too.
He's amazing.
So many, and you mentioned you train names in AEW and NXT. That's so cool to see. I remember seeing you on Monday Night Raw. That was awesome to see, man. I popped big for that.
You know, that was a really funny story, actually.
Was it Tony?
Yes, I was Tony the Garbage Man.
Yeah.
But the truth is I didn't sign up to be an extra. WWE actually called me that day.
Yeah, they did.
And they had originally wanted my trainer because they needed an older-looking guy that could wrestle. And my trainer said, no, I'm not doing that. They said, call Preach. And so they did. They called me. And they said, can you get to the arena in 2 hours? I'm like, yeah, like, what's going on? And the original idea was I was supposed to... it was supposed to be, believe it or not, me and Reigns versus Shane and Drew McIntyre.
That's right. Yeah, you could kind of see it going that right.
Right.
That's the segment.
That's what it was supposed to be originally. And by the time I got there, as soon as I walked in the door, John Carano said, "I think we've already changed the idea that we called you about, but we'll figure something out."
Hey.
And I'm like, cool. I'm glad I got off of work and drove 2 hours.
Yeah,
You know?
That's how it is. Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, you know, WWE's crazy, and you know, the experience was amazing. I got to see some people that I haven't seen in a long time. You know, Claudio and I had a whole bunch of other people, Ricochet, and you know, so it was cool to.
That's awesome. Man.
Be in that environment, and I had some really cool moments, man. You know, I walked out with FTR, and when I walked out, I got a preacher chant, which
kills
is insane. That's
right.
insane.
But that's awesome.
But it was really nice. It was
I was one of them, by the way. Just so you know.
It was definitely heartwarming for sure.
That's so cool. Do you keep up with like the current products on TV and
Absolutely.
stuff like that? Yeah.
Absolutely. I love wrestling.
That's
I
awesome.
love watching all of it. I do have, you know, a lot of students will send me matches to critique weekly. So yeah, I try to keep in touch with it as much as possible, and I try to not be out of touch, because I know a lot of guys that are my age are like, well, this wrestling's supposed to be this way, not that way.
Well, right. Which I might have expected to hear sometimes, and I'm glad that you're very open-minded.
I feel like wrestling should be whatever you feel it should be as a wrestler. Is every kind of wrestling going to be my cup of tea? No, absolutely not. I'm not a big fan of the no selling, crazy spot fest wrestling.
Right.
But I don't hate it either.
Right.
I've seen plenty of matches like that I was like, wow, that was great.
Yeah.
So, I think every kind of wrestling has its place, and it's okay to not like a style of wrestling. It's okay to go, hey, I'm a strong style fan. I don't necessarily like lucha, or I don't necessarily like this. That's okay, man. Like what you like, and don't like what you don't like. I'm just not a big fan of people complaining or burying wrestlers online.
Right.
Like, I understand, like, if you don't like a wrestler, I get that.
Yeah.
And even saying, I don't like this wrestler, no problem. But to be like, oh, this wrestler's work rate is, but what do you know about the work rate? Stop it. Stop it.
It's like that SNL sketch where The Rock was like that fake wrestler. He's like cutting the real personal promos and stuff like that. But I totally get what you're saying, man.
Yeah.
Let's talk shop a little bit. Shameless promo. We got Pro Wrestling Magic next week.
Yeah.
Killers of the Caribbean. You got to team up with two amazing humans in this business, Steve Off, Cheeseburger, to try Wizard Trios tournament. You guys have moved forward. You gues have advanced in that tournament.
Yes, sir.
What's it like to work with those two, and how cool would it be to be the inaugural champs for that tournament?
That'd be pretty amazing. I have only held 2 championships in my entire career.
Seriously?
Absolutely.
I'm shocked.
No, I don't want to say that I never wanted to be that guy, because that would be untrue.
Right.
But I've always felt like I was more of the workhorse kind of guy.
Yeah. Which I like.
But Cheeseburger, amazing human being, a friend of mine forever. I was there when he took his first bump at Ring of
That's so
Honor.
cool.
Same Steve Off. I've been friends with Steve Off for like 15 years, so I've known him forever. Good friend, and not a BS wrestling friend, like an actual good friend. Because there are those, make no mistake, there are those where you're just like, oh yeah, I'm friends with that guy. Nah, you're not really friends with him. You're like,
cool with
you're
him.
cool with
Yeah,
him. You're
you're
not
cool with
friends,
him.
you know.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of those, but it's what makes wrestling go around, you know?
Yeah, it's awesome, man. And I love seeing all you guys work together, and I love working with you. Shameless promo again. We're here at Titan. You do a lot of the training for the kids, up and comers. I mean, how proud are you? And we have people on all different levels that can do all different things. But how proud are you of some of these kids right now, just picking up that momentum?
Very, very proud. But I do want to point out before we go too far with it that Frankie Picard and Josh Adams. Two other trainers here that do an amazing job. I want them, I don't want to take all the credit for their hard work.
Team
too.
effort. Yeah,
it's absolutely a team effort. They've learned a lot from all three of us. But yeah, the students here are passionate. They're driven. They work hard. They're doing everything the right way, and I'm very excited to see their progress. That's my favorite thing is watching, a young wrestler's progress as they get better and better and better. Everybody has their own pace. Some of them will get better, boom, like out of nowhere, and then there's drive too. Like some wrestlers, perfect example, Marcus Mathers right now.
Yeah.
Everywhere. He's everywhere.
He was our up-and-comer of the year this year, yeah.
Absolutely. And we knew Mark had something special, but what you can't ever know is how driven a person is. Because to get to the next level, to be a wrestler who's wrestling for a living or who wants to get somewhere.
Yeah, right.
You literally have to give up everything and make wrestling first.
I'm
period.
seeing that. I see people who do that, and I'm getting that.
Yeah, there is no exception. If you think you're going to be the exception, you're listening to this at home, and you think you're going to be the exception, I promise you're not. You have to put wrestling first if you want it to be a career. That's all there is to it.
And it can happen.
It
it's
absolutely
tough.
can happen.
Sacrifice and all that
Yeah.
stuff. But yeah, we've seen it. And I'm glad that you said that. I've had conversations with people. I'm an outsider looking in, but I see guys like Leo Sparrow who are putting in the drives, going to everywhere, whether it's Texas,
Leo works
Florida.
his butt off, man.
He is, and he talks to everybody, man. And he's great, and he's a good human. Like,
I don't know Leo at all, but
Yeah.
I love seeing the drive, man. I
you
love
know
it.
you know who he is.
Absolutely.
Exactly.
He's working his butt off. How could you not know who he is?
Yeah, that's amazing to hear. Can I ask you a few music questions real quick,
course.
bro? I was interviewing Magic, and he brought up that you had like a really cool song and you played music. I'm like, oh, cool, I'll check it out. Like someone, this podcast is an amalgamation of the local music scene and indie wrestling and all that kind of stuff, man. And, he's like, oh, you're in a band. I'm like, oh, cool, I'll have to talk to Preach about that. And I talked to you, and you have toured and opened for national acts. I
Yep.
think you may or may not have been signed at some point,
I was.
which is unheard of.
Twice, actually.
And that's a cool story, man. Tell us what you can, man, what you feel comfortable telling, man. I think that's very cool because I don't know anyone who's made it, or
So when I was very, very young, I was signed as a solo artist to a major label, which I'm not allowed to say who it is.
Yep.
But they sent me on short tours, and they hired a band for me. It was a very humbling experience, and it was a very hard experience because
Really?
you're in a van with 4 other guys
that you don't know, really.
that I don't really know, and I was the singer, so those guys are partying every single night. I can't party every night. I'm there to do my job, so I'm trying to go to sleep early while the rest of the band is partying. You wake up. You go to an in-store appearance. You go to a local mall. You hand out flyers. Then you go get some lunch and then go to another radio appearance. And then by the time you're done with your second radio appearance, now you got to go do sound check. By the time you're done with sound check, then there's another appearance that you have to do right before the show. And then you do the show. Then you break down, and then you do it all again the next day.
Yeah.
So it was grueling. It was very hard, and there was no money. I was signed to a major record deal, and I was making maybe $50 a night. Maybe. And that was on a good night.
It's kind of why I asked the question, because I don't know anyone who's had that opportunity, and we're in that local scene where a lot of times you're selling the tickets. It's a pay-to-play kind of thing. Promoters have a whole new meaning in that world as well. But was it like rewarding to kind of travel the country or work with some of these national acts?
Some of it was rewarding. Some of it was crappy, to be honest.
Yeah.
you know, I mean, I opened up for some really big acts. I opened up for Cheap Trick and Sponge and a lot of the 80s bands that were like coming off of their 80s fame. So like, you know, the Warrants and the Tricksters and stuff like that. So I got to open up for a lot of those bands. Some of them were amazing. Some of them were dicks, to be honest.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I admittedly am a high-strung person. I don't take well to disrespect. And I had quite a few chances where I almost got into fistfights with.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
got to that point?
Yeah, because, you know, there were some guys that just thought they were big stars and really weren't, you know, so. But there was the opposite of that, too. There was a lot of guys that were super cool, you know, so I did have those opportunities, too. And I got to make some money, you know. I did some soundtrack work and some commercial work, and, you know, so I did cool, you know, and when I lost my first record deal, I got sued by the record company because I wouldn't join a band that they wanted me to join.
Oh, okay.
I was young, and I was like, no, you signed me as a solo artist. I'm not joining the band. I don't even like the band. And they were like, well, you're signed to a record contract. You're going to do whatever we want you to do.
Right.
And so I basically, for lack of a better term, I said, okay, cool, go fuck yourself.
Yeah, I'm out. Yeah.
And they sued me.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So I had to go to 2 depositions before they realized I did not have any money. And then they dropped the suit.
I don't mean to laugh, but yeah.
Yeah, no, it's just true, you know. So they dropped the suit. I had a really hard time finding another record deal, and then, believe it or not, Michael Bolton got me my second record deal.
No kidding.
Yeah. And it never actually went to fruition. I was in a band in Connecticut. We were very good, and we did make a demo, and the demo was fantastic. And we had a lot of interest, and we did get you know, a good record deal out of it. And then the band just kind of fizzled out.
Yeah.
So, and it happens, you know.
It does.
Yeah, keeping a band together is like being married to like 4 people. It's not easy. You know, it's a nightmare, and that's, you know, now I just do like solo stuff, and I play by myself, and I prefer it, honestly. You know, truthfully, I make a lot of money playing music, a lot.
Yeah.
So.
And you do it because you love it. Was there any like validation in the fact, like, and I want to come see you play. We'll get all the shameless plugs in at the end, though.
Yeah.
Was there any validation, like, in the likes of like a Michael Bolton saying, like, hey, I like this guy, I want to work with him? Or was it more of a networking thing, more of a business thing? Or?
I don't know if there was validation in that. You know,
it's pretty cool.
I mean, it's cool, and Mike was very nice.
That's good.
You know, I really dug him. But really, what did it? The best moment, in my opinion, that I ever had in music.
Yeah.
I was in a band called The Truth. We played a show on a Thursday night. No, sorry, ignore that. No, it was. I apologize. It was the day that we opened up for Cheap Trick.
Cool.
We opened up for Cheap Trick.
Yeah.
About 2,000 people in the audience.
Awesome.
It was a club called Birch Hill that doesn't exist anymore.
I played Birch Hill.
Yeah,
long
it was
time
awesome.
ago.
It was awesome. But the coolest thing for me was we brought about 700 people that night. We were very popular at the time, so we were drawing all over the place. I had written a song about divorce. My parents were never divorced, but I had a good friend, and she had a hard time with her parents' divorce. So we had sat up one night drinking and talking about it, and it inspired me to write a song.
Yeah.
We never recorded that song. We only played it live. We just never had the opportunity to record it. But that night when we opened up for Cheap Trick, all 700 of those people sang back every word of that song.
That's wild.
That literally gave me chills, and I knew at that moment I will never have a better moment than this in music. Not ever.
That's
because
amazing.
Obviously these people related to what we wrote.
That you said took the words out of my mouth.
And it really just, it was such a humbling experience, and it blew me away. I still think about it to this day, and honestly, I don't have a good memory, so, you know.
Wonder why. But that's really cool to hear, man. As a drummer, you know, sometimes like the lyrics and stuff get lost to me, but
I started as a drummer.
Really?
I did. I actually play like 7 instruments.
Really?
But I started out as a drummer, and I wound up becoming a singer because we had auditioned so many people and couldn't find anybody that could carry a tune. And then finally, I just was like, well, you know, I can play drums and sing, so I did that. And then they were like, I think we should just get another drummer, and you should just be the front guy. I'm like, all right, whatever, and it just worked.
Yeah. What advice would you have while we got you here, Preach? We got wrestlers that, you know, are here at TCW, and maybe for musicians as well. The music thing's tough.
Yeah, no, it's not. Not for me. I think I learned a lot in those years. I would say this, honestly, set short goals for yourself. And then every time you achieve those goals, set a bigger one.
Yeah, like kind of like micro goal.
Right.
Yeah, I like that.
Because it's going to give you a better mindset. So when you accomplish that, you're going to be like, wow, man, I did it. I made it on a soundtrack. I always wanted to do that. That's awesome.
Yeah, right.
Now, hopefully I can open up for a national act. Oh, crap, I did it.
Yeah.
Now let me see if I can sell out a place on my own. So it's like little stuff like that. If you give yourself those goals, and I'm not saying that you can't be a big picture person. I'm not saying that you can't go, hey, I want to set the world on fire. Absolutely, you should think that. But on the way to setting them on fire, you want to set those little goals so that you don't let yourself down, because there's so much negative thrown at you. And you literally have to let that bounce off your chest. And that's whether you're a wrestler or a musician. Both of those things I feel like are the same when it comes to those goals. Don't let speed bumps in the road stop you from where you're going. It's just that simple. I love that. And try, please, for the love of God, if you're a wrestler especially, I don't know so much about music anymore, but if you're a wrestler and you make it to where you want to go, reach down and help somebody else out.
I love that.
Please.
Love that, yeah.
I try to tell all my students that, I have that mindset. Help your friends. Help the people who deserve it. But make sure they deserve it. Because some people will latch on and not give a crap about you.
Yeah, we want to make the business better and have
absolutely
good people
do
in
everything
it.
you can to be a positive force in the business. I feel like if I stopped wrestling tomorrow, if there's one thing that I have accomplished, it's that. I feel like I have been a positive force in the independent scene. And I'm proud of that. I've had my hand in a lot of companies on the East Coast. A lot. I've been a booker, I've been a wrestler, I've been a trainer, so there's not too many people that I don't know in this area. And I'm proud of that. And there's a lot of good people here. And
yeah, that's what it's all about. And like I said, you guys have all been there for me when I was going through something very tough, man. And
that's because you're a good person.
I try to be. Maybe a little colder than I once was, but that's another story. That being said, everyone here holds you in very high regard. I see you in other locker rooms,
and I appreciate that.
I hold you in high regard. I like to pick your brain sometimes as I'm just learning, man. And it's an honor having you on, Preach. But before we get out of here, I do have an acoustic guitar in the car, but we'll leave you alone. I know you got business to head to. Maybe we'll get you to play sometime. We're all about that shameless promo here on the BCP. Tell them where they can find you, social medias, merch. If you got any shows coming up, I want to come to a show.
I do. You can find my shows on either Facebook or Instagram under Preach Can Sing. Mm-hmm. And I go under the name Preach because it's been my nickname for like 30 years. So, that's just easy for me.
Was that the music gimmick too, or no?
No, it wasn't. I went under my real name for a long time, but my real name is not memorable, so no one ever remembers it. As soon as I changed it to my nickname, then I started having fans follow me around, and I'm like, okay, so obviously the marketing was wrong for this, and then now I'm succeeding. If you are a young wrestler or someone who hopes to be a young wrestler someday, please feel free to contact me online. You can find me under Finneus James on Facebook, and that's with an F, not a PH. And I will help you find a school near you. You don't have to come train with me. I can point you in the right direction. I am friends with all the trainers on the East Coast, which is the way I think it should be. I'm here to help, and that is it. Yeah, I'm not here to make money off of you or tell you what to do or anything like that. I'm just here to help.
I love it, and you've helped so many people in this room today. So, Preach, I'll let you get out of here. Thank you for a few
Thanks for
minutes.
having me,
I appreciate
man.
it, man. Ladies and gentlemen, Preacher, clap your hands.
Thank you! Thank you!
We out.
Introducing first, the challenger. He stands in the corner to my left. Coming out of Staten Island, New York.
The greatest place on earth.
360 pounds.
No, TJ Marconi was Gorilla Monsoon's favorite wrestler.
Oh, is that a fact,
He
Alphonse?
put it in writing before he died.
And his opponent to my immediate right, fighting out of Scranton, Pennsylvania, holding the official weight of 225 pounds. He is your current reigning and defending TCW and Funhouse Wrestling Heavyweight Champions, the Dark Horse no longer. He is the unstoppable Johnny Moran.
No longer the Dark Horse, your champion, the unstoppable Johnny Moran, defending his title here tonight in our main event, Alphonse.
That he is.
Oh no! Oh no! Marconi!
Come on, Savino, count.
Oh, are you kidding me? The cheap shot already, the mind games, and now
That
this.
wasn't a cheap shot. Moran busy taking off a ring jacket.
Did somebody say mind games in Bayville? Did you expect anything less from TJ Marconi?
Uncalled for. Just look at the size difference here, guys.
Now,
Big boy.
I just want to make a point. Look at all the great dark horses that have come in the history of history. Seabiscuit, Secretariat, Dances with the Wind, Johnny Moran, and they're all going to go to the glue factory.
Wow, no longer the Dark Horse. As David Adams said, Johnny trying to target the leg early, but TJ just has the power right now. What? Easily, oh my gosh, disrespectfully, easily throwing the champ. Like he's nothing. Sit down, Alphonse.
That's a good friend of mine, you know.
Part of the deal of you getting hired here was you promised to stay impartial and be professional.
I got to tell the truth.
Well, TJ Marconi believes he is the rightful holder of the TCW and Funhouse Wrestling Heavyweight titles. A couple months ago at the squad building, he got screwed over. Anthony Gangone interjected himself and ruined a title match. Bottom line.
Yeah, but right now we finally have this one-on-one fair and square. Well, except for that cheap shot by Marconi, but wow, the power again, staying on it. And this is like easy for Marconi so far. Oh my gosh.
Rearrange his face, TJ.
Well, he is a belt collector, and tonight he has said there's 2 more belts that he's going to add to his gauntlet for independent wrestling domination. The Northeast Takeover right here!
He is the belt collector, as you said, David Adams. And right now, I hate to say it, but Johnny's in a bad way, and he might get another one of those stones, as he calls them, a la Thanos.
And public enemy number 1, stretching out the long-reigning TCW and Funhouse Wrestling Heavyweight Champion.
Oh, he's screaming in pain. Johnny's in a bad way right now, guys.
He's just wrenching that neck, wrenching that skull, and there's nothing but Johnny can do right now except take it and try and fight back.
Well, he can't match power with TJ Marconi.
As we're seeing right now, oh my gosh!
He also can't match strength. That's right, TJ, beat him up.
135-pound weight advantage for the challenger. Kick, no new. And the McRib is coming back, and not in the style that I like, man. That's got extra sauce on there. Woo-wee.
And, of course, that kick went for 36 yards, 3 points, and a field goal.
What's Marconi doing here?
Marconi's got a
No!
ripped it up.
Ripping up the sign of that loyal fan of
No.
Johnny Moran.
Come on, TJ. Oh, and that got Johnny fired up real fast. Oh, Johnny in the corner here. Big shot by Marconi, just bringing Moran down to the mat.
And remember, the wrestling god, Anthony Gangone, he put his hands on SP Anderson, the general manager. SP was a referee and still the general manager, and he has been suspended without pay for an undetermined amount of time.
Yeah, after SP screwed him.
Oh my gosh! Oh, he just threw him like he was nothing. His feet almost touched the ceiling on that one.
Well, Johnny Moran does resemble Raggedy Andy.
Well, since we're on a time constraint, I didn't mention this in the ring. TJ Marconi is the PWF World Champion, the Trifecta World Champion, the NAW World Champion, and the Project Champion. Basically, he's a champion everywhere he goes.
He doesn't mind you listing it, David, I'll tell you that. Oh, no, 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 no! Atomic drop! He's got him down. Oh, no, oh, no, oh,
Can we
no.
get an elbow with that? With a side of fries and extra cheese, please.
New champion here.
It has been all Marconi, all Finneus tonight.
And it's good news, bad news for Moran. He kicks out, he's still in the fight, but every time he kicks out, he has to thrust 360 pounds off his sternum, off his torso, exerting that much energy. As the champion's fighting back, though.
He's chopping him down. He has to fight from underneath, unfortunately. Oh, big right hand from the champ.
Here comes Moran.
Oh, he's looking for that patented step-up knee, one of the best you'll ever see. But no! Marconi just slams him to the mat. How many times has Johnny been slammed to the mat in this match?
Marconi sees that quote-unquote vintage knee strike coming at you, and he hits him with a vintage, now you got a story to tell.
Man, I've never seen Johnny just get thrown. And we've seen who Johnny's faced. I've never seen Johnny get thrown around like this.
You've also never seen Johnny face a man the caliber of TJ Marconi.
Oh, but wisely, Johnny using the ropes here.
He hasn't faced a man this dangerous since Steve Monster Mac.
Big step-up knee, patented Johnny Moran right here. Looking for that flatliner. He got all of it.
Boop, 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 boop.
Marconi like a railroad spike.
The lights are going out in Bayville for Marconi, but no.
Not enough, guys. Come on, Johnny.
I don't remember the last time I've seen Marconi down for two. A near fall for Moran, and Moran's still in the fight. Pounding that canvas, getting the fans firmly behind him.
Staying on him here. What's he looking for? Oh, no. Once again, easily picking up Moran. Oh, my gosh, what a reversal!
That was an amazing reversal. I got to give it to Johnny Moran.
No, foot on.
Foot's on the ropes.
You know it's good when Alphonse gives you a compliment.
Oh, gee, I'm surprised Pat Savino caught the foot on the rope because, you know, when Johnny Moran wrestles, feet on ropes are a common miss, commonly missed.
Johnny Moran just hits a knee bar on Marconi, and what a way to chop down a redwood. You start at the base, and those big tree trunk legs, and that was a hellacious move as Marconi now struggling just to stand.
Oh, but he picks him up easily again. Oh, no, what's coming next?
Toss him like a sack of potatoes, TJ.
Oh, my gosh! F5 type maneuver here.
The tornado's running through Bayville. What you gonna do?
Choke slam to the mat!
When public enemy number one.
Come on, Johnny! Come on, Johnny!
What? Did he just kick out, guys?
He did. 2 7/8, guys. It's all heart. That's the heart of Johnny Moran. That's all that was right there on full display.
That's beyond heart. Literally, his back just gets broken right before our very eyes, and he's still able to kick out. There's heart, there's desire, there's courage, but then there's a little bit of, not intelligent. You have to think about your long-term health.
That's it. You ain't wrong, David. Where's Marconi going? What's he thinking here? Oh, no. Whoa! He's just grabbing the title.
As he should. It's his.
It ain't his yet. He got to earn it. He's got to win it, Alphonse.
Well, that's the Titan Championship Wrestling Heavyweight title. The Funhouse title hangs in the balance as well. And Pat Savino falls right on his tough, trying to grab that title.
I don't know what Marconi's trying to pull here.
Well, learn from Gangone's mistakes. Don't touch the referee.
Oh!
Oh, well, finally, somebody had to do it.
That was incidental, though. He shouldn't have been using the belt, but he was going for Moran. Moran ducks, and now Pat Savino, he's been knocked out. Now we have a championship title main event.
Wait.
Oh, look, and Moran about to use a cheap shot.
You don't need to do it, Johnny.
What are you thinking, Johnny?
You're the unstoppable force.
Moran!
Oh, my gosh!
Oh, he did it!
The only way he can beat TJ Marconi. This is sad.
What referee? Am I the ref?
Another
1,
referee
2.
here.
Johnny Q.
1, 2, 3.
Wow.
Are you proud, Rob Williams?
Here is your winner, and still your TCW and Funhouse Wrestling Heavyweight Champion, the unstoppable Johnny Moran.
As the late great Gorilla Monsoon would always say, this is a miscarriage of justice. You gonna defend your boy now? He needed to use the championship to beat TJ Marconi.
Stick around, folks. We have a big surprise for you coming up next. Stick around. Don't head towards the doors just yet.
Marconi saying his foot was under the rope, much like we've seen before here.
And missed it again. So it's like a belt shot and a missed call from the ref. Rob Williams just looking here speechless.
I don't know what to say. This is not what I expected to see from Johnny tonight, but nevertheless, he is still your Titan Championship Wrestling
By hook or by crook, I guess.
Heavyweight
By
Champion.
any means necessary.
You know, the referees in this company have a bad habit of missing feet on ropes. Something needs to be done.
I mean, statistically, and look, Marconi just holding his foot there underneath the whole time.
Because he was robbed, he was screwed. First Anthony Gangone, now TJ Marconi. Is this the only way Johnny Moran can retain championships in this company?
It was a big surprise, you said, right, Mr. Adams? A big surprise? It is the big surprise. Johnny Moran is a cheater.
What?
Exposed him July 16th.
Whoa!
As he should.
Now you got to show it yourself.
Wow! Are we getting Marconi Moran 3?
We should make it a no disqualification match. This man is the rightful Titan Championship Wrestling World Champion.
Sit down, Alphonse.